and the different basic mechanisms involving our heat transfer. Now, just to give you a refresher of our discussion yesterday, meron tayong tatlong mechanism, which is yung conduction, convection, and yung radiation na tinatawag. Now, yung conduction natin, that's the most basic mechanism of heat transfer, which occurs in our three states of matter, such as solid, liquids, and gases. And itong convection and radiation is somewhat different from our conduction mechanism. Kami napasok 31, 32. Sige, before pala ako mag-start, kasi parang nagbago yung ating class list. Yung sa 27 na lamang yung sa aking section. So parang lampas na tayo. Pag hindi nyo na pakinggan ang inyong pangalan, please double check baka hindi na kayo naka-enroll sa ating section. Kasi mahirap na yung inyong section yung pala sa inyong part. Tapos nasa akin pa kayo. Dito pa kayo na. Sige nga. Let me read the class list kung kayo ay karapat-dapat na natin sa section na ito. Narito si Apigo Kizel. Next is si Barion Ainsley. Next is si Kalimlim Eleazar. Candelaria Althea May. Castillo Roxanne Joy. Cubio Kimberly Chio. De Chavez Adriana. De Ramos Nathaniel. Espiritu Renz Emery. Francisco Isusa Angela. Next is Gloria.
Present po.
May naimek? Hello? Yes, may naimek? Okay. May present po. Okay. Sige. Present ako. Gonzales Alexandria. Hilar Rowena. Lumanglas Jairus. Makabuag Jan Kayana. Malabanan Micaela. Medel Ban Emmanuel. Mendoza Cassandra Gale. Mendoza Maria Cristina. Mercado Angela Colleen. Olano Darlene Joyce. Panaligan Rachel. Perez Jereza. Lucena Claire Micaela. Sanchez Armain. Sim Ishamay. And Villarruel Jessamine for a total of 27 students. Yes, bless you.
Good afternoon po, sir. Bale, ayun nga po, umunti po yung student sa O6. Bale, ano po, yun pong mga lumipat po from O6 to O5 is until now is uma-attend pa rin po. And a-attend pa rin daw po bukas as per Sir Dowie dahil next week pa daw po magiging effective yung paglipat daw po namin.
Okay. Sige. Hello.
Thank you so much po.
Hello. Meron bang... Yan, meron. Okay, sige. Thank you, Blessy, for that. Kala ko ay last day na yung yesterday natin for those na magka-transfer sa O5. Then again, welcome back sa discussion natin, our second part of our discussion for conduction and convection. So, mabalik lamang ulit ako sa kanila kung sinasabi. Yung convection kasi is very different from conduction in the sense that sa convection, meron na tayong motion ng fluid na kinoconsider. Dito kasi sa conduction, ang ating kinoconsider na heat transfer is yung steady state heat transfer or yung hindi pa in motion yung mga fluids natin or yung mga substances natin. Like for example, ngayon nasa wall natin, nasa slab, and itong dito sa cylinders natin or sa hollow cylinder natin. So once again, yung mga problems na i-flash ko dito sa screen will be discussed tomorrow sa ating face-to-face classes. Now let me define what is convection first and what is convective heat transfer. So pagka sinabi natin convection or convective heat transfer, the mode of energy transfer or the mode of heat transfer here is between a solid surface and the adjacent liquid or gas that is in motion. So take note of the word in motion. So dapat po yung fluids natin for us to consider that it is a convective heat transfer, dapat po ay naibo yung fluid natin. So this involves the combined effects of conduction and fluid motion. So di ba, doon sa inyong momentum transfer, you already discussed or may knowledge, may background knowledge na sa fluid motion natin. Ano po? So dito, the faster the fluid motion or yung bilis ng fluid motion natin is the greater yung convection heat transfer na meron tayo. So, syempre, since mabilis yung motion or yung movement ng particles natin, the transfer, yun, directly proportional kumbaga yung fluid motion natin at yung heat transfer natin dito. In the absence naman of fluid motion, yung heat transfer natin between a solid surface and adjacent fluid is by pure conduction only. So like for example, sa mga tangke, kadalasan naman yung fluid na nasa loob ng tanks natin is not in motion. So kapag hindi po naigo yung fluid natin, we consider that as conduction lamang na heat transfer. Whereas kapag in motion, once again, ito po ay convective heat transfer and iba na po yung calculations involved here sa pag-quantify natin ng heat transfer. Ano po? Now, to better understand convective heat transfer, let's consider this given diagram. So, baka medyo confusing yung diagram ng heat transfer natin dito by convection. Just simply think of it as yung mga arrow sign dyan, yan yung arrow sign, that is the movement of our air in contact with our hot block. So let's consider a hot block or the cooling of a hot block by blowing cool air over its top surface. So what happens here is that energy is first transferred to the air layer adjacent to the block by convection. So isipin niyo, if you want to visualize convection, isipin niyo yung fluid ninyo is made up of different layers, just like how it is being presented here sa ating diagram. So, yung una, syempre, magkakaroon ng contact na air particles natin or yung fluid particles natin is yung first layer adjacent doon sa hot block natin. As you can see here sa ating diagram, this part, ito yung nagkakaroon ng unang heat transfer via convective forces. Now, this energy is then carried away from the surface by convection, that is, by the combined effects of conduction within the air that is due to the random motion ng air molecules natin. So, what happens here is yung unang pag-transfer ng heat ng energy natin from the hot block going to the air is from the first layer to the second layer to the third, fourth, up to the center or up to the bulk molecules na meron tayo sa fluid natin. Now, itong transfer of heat natin dito is of course staggered yung pag-transfer natin dito. Hindi siya basta-basta na kung ano yung heat na meron sa first layer natin is yun na rin yung heat across the whole fluid natin. So magkakaroon tayo dito ng temperature variation sa air natin as you move far away from our hot block. As you can see here sa ating other side ng graph, yung temperature natin. So as you can see, the temperature at the surface is different doon sa temperature temperature infinity natin, which is yung temperature infinity natin is the temperature of our fluid. So mahalaga na ma-consider natin or malaman natin yung surface temperature ng hot block natin and yung temperature ng fluid natin for us to determine the heat transfer between our solid and our fluid in motion. Now, itong convective heat transfer natin, meron tayong dalawang types ng convection. So, meron tayong forced convection at meron tayong natural convection. So, what is the difference between a forced and a natural convection? Let's give emphasis on the adjective na ginamit dito. Unahin natin yung forced convection. So, from the word itself, forced, may meron tayong external input para mag-drive yung convection natin. So dito, if the fluid is forced to flow over a surface by external means, such as a fan, a pump, or the wind, we call that as forced convection. Dito, ina-account din natin yung velocity ng ating fluid kasi nga pinersa yung pag-transfer ng heat from the fluid itself towards the solid substance. Whereas sa natural convection naman, ito naman is because of the density differences due to the variation of temperature in the fluid. Alam niyo naman na magkaiba ang density for a hot object and for a cold object, although they have the same. For example, sa water, sa mainit na tubig at sa malamig na tubig, magkaiba po yung ating density based on the temperature. So itong natural convection, from the word natural, is hindi fino-force yung heat transfer kumbaga. Naka-base tayo sa density differences ng fluid na meron tayo. So to illustrate yung forced convection and a natural convection, take a look at this diagram. So meron tayo dito hot egg. Let's consider the hot egg as our solid substance and air as our fluid in motion. So syempre, if you wanted to cool down your hot egg ng mas mabilis, you will have to use an equipment such as a blower pump to fasten or to hasten the heat transfer from our fluid to the solid substance. Kapag naman sinabi natin natural convection, just by looking at our diagram, nakalagay lamang yung hot egg sa isang, for example, on top of the table, and then you let the temperature difference in the fluid surrounding the solid substance to transfer the heat from the fluid or from the hot egg towards our fluid. Kasi nga, sabi natin, ang movement ng ating heat is from a hotter place to a colder place. So dito sa forced convection, ang nangyayari is that yung energy from the hot egg is being transferred doon sa fluid natin in motion, which is the air, para ma-carry away ng air yung energy na initially ay nasa hot egg natin. Now, despite the complexity of convection, the rate of heat transfer here is observed to be proportional to the temperature difference and is conveniently expressed by the Newton's law of cooling, as shown to you here in our next slide. So this formula governs our convective heat transfer. As you can see, very simple lamang yung formula na meron tayo sa convective heat transfer. Pero huwag kayong papauto dito sa formula na ito. Kasi actually, convection is the most difficult mechanism to para maintindihan. Na maintindihan. Kasi there's a lot of factor na nag-hinder or rather maraming factor ang nag-play effect sa ating heat transfer dito. So, mamaya pag-usapan natin pa isa-isa mga nag-play in effect dito sa Newton's law, dito sa convective heat transfer. So dito, meron tayong formula Q is equals to H multiplied by A sub S times the quantity of T sub S minus T infinity. So ano bang ibig sabihin ng kada symbol na meron dito sa formula na ito? So Q is the heat transfer rate, H is the convection heat transfer coefficient, A sub S is the surface area through which convection takes place. And syempre, iba't ibang geometry, iba't ibang formula for our area. So don't be worried din naman kasi meron din naman kayong formulas for different geometries makikita sa Perry. If na-explore nyo na yung Perry. Next is T sub S, which is the surface temperature. Sinabi natin surface temperature, that is the temperature at the surface of the solid natin. And T infinity is the temperature of the fluid or the bulk temperature of our fluid. Now, yung first layer kasi ng ating fluid is, we assume that the temperature of the first layer of our fluid is equal to the temperature of our surface or our solid surface. Kaya po yung T infinity, pagka sinabi natin T infinity, that is the bulk temperature po ng ating fluid. O kumbaga, the average temperature na meron yung fluid natin. Now, sabi ko sa inyo, mukhang madali lang yung formula na ito, but yung convection heat transfer coefficient natin, yan kasi guys ay hindi agad available yung exact value ng H natin. Maraming factor na nakaka-affect dito sa heat transfer coefficient natin since this is not a property of a fluid. Kasi di ba, kung gusto natin malaman ng iba't ibang properties ng fluid, we just have to base on the temperature of the fluid to get the different properties. Like for example, siguro naman na-encounter nyo na sa table nyo sa chapter 2 ninyo sa Perry, si water, yung different values na meron kay water. For example, its density, its diffusivity, its thermal conductivity, its specific heat, etc. etc. Yung mga properties na iyon, nakabase tayo dun sa temperature na meron tayo sa fluid. Yeah. But here, the heat transfer coefficient is not based on our temperature. Ano? This parameter actually depends on the surface geometry, first of all, the nature of fluid motion. So, papasok dito si laminar, transient, turbulent flow. So, kumbaga, depende pa sa flow ng fluid natin kung mabilis. Mabilis ba siya? Moderate, di ba yung bilis niya or mabagal ba yung flow natin? And of course, the properties of fluid as well as the bulk fluid velocity. So yun nga, maraming factor in place, kumbaga, para ma-determine natin si heat transfer coefficient. Kapag given sa problem si heat transfer coefficient, swerte. Kasi you don't have to compute or you don't have to find for the value of the heat transfer coefficient. And maybe ang kailangan mo lang is the area, which is based on the geometry of the solid, and then yung temperature ng fluid at yung temperature ng surface natin. And then, voila, meron ka ng heat transfer rate. But if the heat transfer coefficient is not given to you, you have to compute for it, or you have to find it based on the different properties ng fluid natin and the velocity, the geometry of our surface. Ano? So, tingnan natin ano ba yung sinasabi kong or paano ba siya nagkakaiba-iba yung heat transfer coefficient natin. So, for our forced convection, meron tayong two types. Meron tayong pwede siyang forced convection through pipes and forced convection sa various geometries pa na meron tayo. Na yung various geometries natin, yung annular ducts, yung external cylinder, spherical surface, flat plates, and other various geometries. Iba't iba yung heat transfer coefficient natin. Iba't iba yung pag-compute natin ng heat transfer dito. Heat transfer coefficient. Which is hindi na naman natin cover yun. Or very specific pa yung discussion na yun, which will take us a lot of meetings pa before natin matapos. Ang focus natin dito, guys, is more on sa pipes. Forced convection or convection through pipes na iba't iba yung flow. Iba't iba yung bilis ng fluid natin. So, meron tayong laminar transition and turbulent flows. So, I believe focus lang natin dito is the laminar and the turbulent flows na meron sa ating fluid. So, natural convection naman, meron yung tatlo, various geometries, boiling, condensation. So, various geometries may vertical planes and cylinders, horizontal flat surface. So, boiling, I mean, not boiling, film boiling, so condensation may vertical horizontal. Sobrang daming ina-account na factors. Siyempre, isipin mo muna, forced ba yung convection o natural convection natin. And then, susilipin mo kung ano yung geometry ng ating solid. And then, isipin mo pa kung may boiling ba doon or nagko-condense yung fluid natin, etc. So, ang gusto kong bigyan emphasis dito is itong laminar at itong turbulent flow inside our pipes under forced convection. Ano po? So, once again, itong formula na ito is for convective heat transfer. And ito rin yung ating gagamitin to compute for the heat transfer rate. Malamang si H na property natin, ito pa yung hahanapin natin o i-calculate natin using other formulas which will be discussed later on. Now, before we proceed, yes, may nag-raise ng hand. Yes, Jamil. May sasabihin ka ba? So, ano po nagba-vary or tumataas? Ang temp at Q? Yes, kasi directly proportional as you can see naman sa formula natin. Yung Q ay nataas, depende sa temperature. Yung heat transfer kasi natin nakabase sa temperature natin. Pag malaki yung temperature difference, malaki yung heat transfer natin. If yung temperature difference between the surface and the fluid is very little, edi malamang maliit lang din po si Q. Now, moving on to our discussion, before we discuss yung heat transfer coefficient natin, meron din tayong combined conduction and convection, which is observed in many practical situations. That if the surface temperatures are not known, but there is a fluid on both sides of the solid surface, So for example, sa pipes natin, commonly itong combined conduction and convection is observed sa heat exchangers natin na merong fluid sa labas ng pipes and meron ding fluid na nagfo-flow inside the pipes itself.
Hello. Ayun, sir.
Yes.
Ayun, hindi
Hello.
po kasi gumana yung mic ko kanina. May itatanong po sana ako. Pwedeng pabalik po dun sa previous, dun sa kabilang slide po.
Saan dito?
Ayun, gusto ko lang pong tanungin, dun po sa natural convection, yung under po ng boiling and condensation, what does it mean po dun sa nucleate boiling and film boiling? Saka dun sa condensation po na vertical and horizontal.
Yung condensation na vertical and horizontal, if I'm not mistaken, is naka-base siya dun sa orientation ng ating pipes. And then yung boiling natin is nakadepende sa nakadepende sa molecules involved dun sa boiling natin. May ano pa kasi yan may specificities pa yan. So I suggest na you do your research on this na lang sa boiling and condensation since hindi nga ito yung focus ng ating discussion. So moving on with our discussion, combined conduction and convection. So yesterday, I have given to you the formulas for conduction, and pagsasamahin natin yung ating formulas for conduction and convection to relativity transfer. So good lang. May urgent pang nag-message na. Okay, going back. So kung makikita nyo dito, yung temperature gradient natin, or yung temperature difference from, ito muna sa letter A, plain wall. Yung temperature difference natin from T1 to T2, since may fluid nga dito sa side na ito, meron pa tayo dito ng convective heat transfer, which is governed by our heat transfer coefficient, denoted by H sub I. Ang I kasi ibig sabihin inside. So yung convective heat transfer natin here. And then, yung heat transfer from T2 to T3 is by conduction. And yung T3 to T4 naman, dito yung outside fluid natin. So meron din dito convective heat transfer from the surface of our wall towards the external surface of our wall towards our external fluid. And this is governed by the outside heat transfer coefficient. Now, syempre, may area tayo na kinoconsider dito in which nagmo-move kung saan nag-transfer yung energy natin as well as the thickness of our wall for us to quantify the heat transfer. Now, dito naman sa letter B, sa cylindrical wall, just like our plain wall, may outside fluid tayo and may inside fluid tayo, may inner fluid. And then meron tayong external surface, internal surface. So, ang nangyayari muna is from our pagka mainit na nasa labas, syempre, ang movement is from outside towards inside. Kapag mainit naman yung nasa inside, it's from inside to outside yung movement ng heat natin. Now, meron tayong convective heat transfer sa labas, papunta dun sa walls natin via conduction, and then from the internal surface of our pipes, papunta naman sa fluid na nasa loob ng pipes natin. Another convective heat transfer meron tayo dun. So let us see how we can quantify this combined conduction and convection. So, pag-usapan muna natin si wall or slab as wall and slab of wall. So the formula here is somewhat similar to our 4 years law or yung sa ating conduction through a wall. Nga lamang, yung resistances natin na nasa denominator is madadagdagan ng resistances involving the convective heat transfer. As you can see naman, isang layer lang naman to. So yung resistance natin dito is tatlo. One is for the inside fluid. The next one is itong delta x sub A over K sub A times A is for the resistance na nag-o-occur sa ating material or sa ating wall. At ito namang 1 over H sub O multiplied by the area is the heat resistance or yung resistance na nag-o-occur sa outside fluid natin. Transfer of heat dun sa outside fluid natin. So, narito naman yung ibig sabihin ng bawat symbol, which is already given to you. Or alam niyo na yung ibig sabihin ng bawat symbols na ito. Again, more on application po ang ating pag-uusapan dito sa combined conduction and convection. So, basta tatandaan niyo lagi sa mga transport properties, lagi pong driving force over the resistance. Resistances. Madami. Ang driving force natin dito sa heat transfer, tatandaan nyo lagi, ay si temperature. Kasi if wala namang temperature difference, walang heat transfer na mangyayari. Kaya nagkakaroon ng heat transfer, guys, is because of the temperature difference ng dalawang substances natin. And that is our driving force. Now, syempre, yung driving force na yon is divided by the resistance. Sinabing resistance, that is what hinders the movement of our heat. Na ito nga ay nakabase sa material ng ating substance, yung thermal conductivities natin, yung area, yung thickness, as well as yung bago, yung heat transfer coefficient natin. Now, another formula for our combined conduction and convection that we can use is itong C, Q is equals to U A delta T overall. Since combined conduction and convection tayo, ito naman ay yung U is just simply our resistance natin. Since tinawag lang natin siyang overall heat transfer coefficient, since pinagsama-sama na natin dito yung resistances natin na nakalagay naman dito, nakanote naman dito ang ibig sabihin ni U, which is equals to 1 over 1 over HI plus delta XA over K sub A plus 1 over HO. Kung mapapansin ninyo, dito, nilabas lang natin si area, and then we combine their resistances na meron tayo. So don't be confused yung U is parang lang din naman yung si H. Nga lamang, since combined conduction and convection tayo, we have to consider the overall heat transfer coefficient, which is combined yung conduction and convection natin. Kasi sometimes, ang tinatanong sa inyo ay, what is the overall heat transfer coefficient? Edi, this is the formula for that. Para sa wall at saka sa slab. Now, moving on with our cylinder naman. So just like our yesterday's formula for conduction through a hollow cylinder, once again, driving force over resistance tayo. Yung temperature natin is our driving force. And yung resistances natin is matatagpuan sa denominator natin. Now, here, meron tayong, yung parang naman, convective heat transfer coefficient. Meron tayong inner and outer radius based on the geometry of our cylinder. Yan. Consider natin si inner and si outer radius natin yan. So basically, you just have to follow the formulas, which is also available to you sa inyong Paris ito, sa chapter 5. And here are the problems that we will be solving tomorrow during our discussion. So if you can, or if you want to try solving this in your homes, or kung saan man kayo naroon, you can try to compute for the overall heat transfer coefficient, the PR value, and the heat loss per unit area. Si R value natin, guys, that is the resistance, yung hinahanap, yun yung isang hinahanap dito, which is itong nasa denominator lang natin ito, si 1 over HI plus delta XA over KA plus 1 over H1. Now, you might notice na dito, hindi natin in-apply sa overall heat transfer or overall heat transfer coefficient. Kasi hindi naman kadalasan hinahanap yung for pipes and sides. Ina-account din natin dito yung mga kadalasan mga insulators, etc. So, since hindi naman kadalasan hinahanap, huwag na natin pag-usapan. Yung mga common lamang ng mga scenarios, situations, ang natin pag-usapan dito. So, ito naman yung problem 4, heat loss by the tube. So, the combined conduction and convection for cylinders. Now, moving on, another concept that you have to know is the boundary layers na tinatawag. So, itong boundary layers, these are the layers na pwede nating ma-identify dun sa fluid in motion natin. And itong boundary layers na ito is more on, the concept side of heat transfer. So meron tayo ditong dalawang layer, the velocity boundary layer and the thermal boundary layer na tinatawag. Pagka sinabi natin velocity boundary layer, this is the region of flow above the plate, bounded by a certain distance from the plate, in which the effects of the viscous forces caused by fluid viscosity are felt. Now, yung fluid kasi natin, meron kasi siyang retardation na tinatawag sa mga layers ng fluid natin in motion. Hindi naman siya kadalasang basta na lang flow kumbaga. May shear forces tayo consider dito kapag pinag-uusapan natin ng fluid in motion. So kaya kung papansin niyo dito, yung velocity kasi ng ating fluid at the surface of our solid is 0. Again, because of the shear forces na meron na present sa ating fluid, which is yung viscosity natin. Diga. Kasi nabi natin viscosity, that is the resistance to flow. So that hinders the movement of our motion ng fluid dito sa surface ng ating solid. Now, moving on, meron naman tayo ditong thermal boundary layer. Kasi sinabi naman natin thermal boundary layer, this is the flow region over the surface in which the temperature variation in the direction normal to the surface is significant. Ibig sabihin, itong boundary layer na ito, this is where we consider yung yung bulk temperature ng fluid natin. Since dun nga sa first layer ng ating fluid in motion is hindi kaagad rather hindi equal yung temperature ng fluid natin na nasa surface dun sa overall temperature ng fluid natin. So itong si thermal boundary layer na ito yung nagdidictate sa region na kung saan yung temperature variation between the first, second, third layers of our fluid in motion is significant. Now, yun. So going, yun yung concept ng boundary layers na tinatawag natin. Now, ito namang dimensionless quantities na nasa slide nyo ngayon. These dimensionless quantities are what we correlate to our heat transfer coefficient for us to determine the heat transfer coefficient. So ating pag-usapan itong iba't ibang dimensionless quantities na meron tayo dito na pwede nating correlate sa heat transfer coefficient. So sabi nga natin, ang heat transfer coefficient is naka-based sa properties ng fluid, sa velocity ng fluid natin, sa flow ng fluid natin. So number one dimensionless quantity na ating pag-aaralan is the Prandtl number, which is the ratio of the shear component of diffusivity for momentum to the diffusivity for heat, and physically relates the relative thickness of the hydrodynamic layer and the thermal boundary layer. Now this Prandtl number is once again a dimensionless quantity, or wala siyang unit. Ano po? So this Prandtl number consists of the specific heat of the fluid, the viscosity of the fluid, as well as the thermal conductivity of the fluid, since these properties of fluid affects the heat transfer na meron tayo via convection or via convective process. This Prandtl number is also available sa inyong various formula nito, as well as in values, of course, for the specific heat, viscosity, thermal conductivity. Ang main focus natin dito is, of course, we have to know the temperature of our fluid para malaman natin itong iba't ibang properties na meron tayo. Next naman, after the Prandtl number is the Nusselt number na tinatawag. This is used naman to correlate or to relate the data for the heat transfer coefficient H to the thermal conductivity K of the fluid and a characteristic dimension D. Yung characteristic dimension natin dito is naka-based sa geometry ng ating solid. Now, for example, sa pipes natin, D is diameter. Now, as you can see, meron tayo ditong nandito na yung si heat transfer coefficient. So, ginagamit natin si Nusselt number to find the heat transfer coefficient based on our thermal conductivity, which is, sabi ko kasi, yung resistant force na meron tayo sa heat transfer natin. So, mahalaga itong si Nusselt number para mahanap natin si heat transfer coefficient. Ayan. Punta na tayo ngayon dito sa formula na ito. Si Nusselt number natin is also used to relate the Reynolds number, the Prandtl number, as well as the fluid viscosity at the bulk temperature and the fluid viscosity at the wall temperature. So, diba, yung una ay ang alam nyo lamang ay itong HD over K. Ano po? Si Nusselt number din is equal to itong 1.86, etc. etc. Pwede natin i-equate itong HD over K, K 1.86 times the Reynolds number, Prandtl number, P over L raised to 1/3 times the ratio of our fluid viscosities at different temperatures raised to 0.14. Now this formula, guys, is used to find a transfer coefficient for laminar flow inside a pipe. So mahalaga po na makompute muna natin si Reynolds number for us to determine whether our flow ba is laminar, nasa laminar flow ba siya, transition flow ba siya, or nasa turbulent flow ba siya. So mas ma-appreciate ko pa itong formula nito if ma-apply natin siya sa problem to find the heat transfer coefficient. Once again, siguro naman na-encounter na si Reynolds number ano. So, ito siya si N sub RE. Si Prandtl number, which is yung kanina nating nag-usapan. Si D ay si pipe diameters, L is the pipe length since ang ating geometry nga dito ay pipe. And then si mu, the symbol mu is used to denote the viscosity. And then, of course, different viscosity from the bulk average temperature or yung fluid temperature natin. And then, the viscosity at the wall temperature naman. So, lahat ng properties na ito, itong si thermal conductivity, as well as the properties found sa Prandtl number natin, yan, Cp, viscosity dito, and itong si, again, thermal conductivity, is mahanap natin using the bulk average temperature of our fluid. So para mahanap yung mga properties na iyon, ang kinoconsider natin na temperature is the fluid temperature. And then ang naiba lamang dito na property is si mu sub W, which is the fluid viscosity at the wall temperature. Once na nalaman nyo na yung Reynolds number ninyo, si Prandtl number ninyo, and then of course, kadalasan given naman si D, si L, yan. You can now find for the heat transfer coefficient, which will be used doon sa unang formula natin for convective heat transfer, which is Q is equals to H times A times the surface temperature minus the fluid temperature. Once again po, ito po ay for laminar flow inside the pipe. For a turbulent flow inside the pipe, ito naman po ay yung Reynolds number natin dito is greater than 6,000 and yung Prandtl number natin is between 0.7 and 16,000, having an L over D or a length over diameter ratio of greater than 60. Now, dito, as you can see, naiba po yung itsura ng ating formula. But still, may Reynolds number pa rin tayo na kinoconsider dito. May Prandtl number pa rin tayo kinoconsider dito. Meron din tayo kinoconsider dito na fluid viscosity at the bulk average temperature and the fluid viscosity at the wall temperature. Now, these two formulas is para kung available sa inyong friends. So, if I were you, can highlight these two equations para hindi na kayo malito, or rather, alam niyo na agad kung saan hanapin. So, one thing again that I would like to suggest to you is you actually read your Paris. Ang Paris is hindi lang siya kuhanan lang ng values. Yung Paris natin, kasi meron din kayo kapupulutan ng mga concepts if you have the right reading comprehension for that. So I just really try to read your Paris kasi marami kayo makukuhang concepts din doon. So with that, the problem na yung sunod. Application ng itong the transfer coefficient for turbulent and laminar. So you can take a screenshot of this slide and try to answer it. And then you can try to compare your answers with our tomorrow's discussion if makakaabot tayo dito. So, turbulent flow, ayun, turbulent flow lang pala meron pa. Na problem. So, yun, hanggang dito lang muna yung discussion natin since ang coverage lang naman natin right now is yung conduction and polycomplete transfer. So, dito ko na po ikakat yung discussion po natin. Thank you for listening, and I hope you picked up something new with our discussion. Tomorrow sa ating problem solving, siguro kami ko mas ma-realize or mas malalaman how you can use this formulas na discuss ko sa inyo yesterday as well as so yun lamang. Take you guys first. Goodbye.